how do you know when to get in and out of a stock like DraftKings and when there's conflicting news like Boeing? That's a great question, right? So, Corey, what's your perspective on getting out of a stock?
Uh, Getting out of a stock, like me, for my long-term holds, like if they cut my dividend or suspend my dividend, I suspend them. So that's my, I mean, that's my, that's my move. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I don't. If you suspending the dividends, that means you wasn't able to, function the way I thought you was going to be able to function in my long-term investment portfolio. So
hmm
I got to replace you. Um, as far as with getting in and out of stocks with you know during the regular week or on options trades, um, I mean I use a combination of a couple of things, news and other things, how close they are to their earnings.
earnings. Yeah, I need to go for that.
Uh, I'll look at some news stories. I'll do a little deep dive into their 10K. Uh, you know, so just to see when I
All
want
right.
to get in and out of that kind of stuff. But like for me, most of the time I trade three or four companies.
hmm
Uh, so I don't get into a lot. Like I don't know a lot about a lot of companies as far as
Got
trading
you. Well,
because I
let
don't
me give
trade.
you my
I don't trade a
perspective real
lot of
quick.
companies.
Let me give you my perspective real quick here. That's another great point, right? Just because you're in the market doesn't mean you have to follow every single company. You focus on the companies you want to. But Kia, for me, a lot of times I know what my exit point is when I make my entry point, right? So it depends upon my analysis then. Taking the courses with DYO has taught me a lot because there's like when we make 20% on an options trade, we take the money and run, right? Sometimes, and then every trade won't work out in your benefits. But also on the flip side of that, if it goes down 15, 20, you want to exit and then come back in. So a lot of times, when you buy on a short term trade for me, once I get to 20%, I try to get out. Now, to be completely transparent, it doesn't always happen because the hardest part to me about investing is nothing to do with reading. It's the emotional part. It's the emotional part. I had a trade this past week. What was it? It was a company you told me about, Corey. The
FCX,
FCX,
Freeport,
right?
yeah,
All right. So
Freeport McMahon.
I was up 19.75%. Now remember I said once it gets to 20, I'm out. Within 2 minutes, I was down like 2%, right? So that happens at times. And I know Corey had this happen to him recently too on a trade.
Yeah,
But I've also had like when I ran a Bank of America call option at one time, I was up over 30% and I got greedy. I said, I'm gonna sit here, I'm gonna wait till I get to 50. Never made it to 50. Shot all the way back down. So greed isn't always good. So the hardest part to me about trading, not investing, now investing and trading are two different things. Hardest part about trading is the emotional part. Because if you stick to the fundamentals, so today with Nokia, I stuck to the fundamentals. Once it hit 20%, I was gone. Right. So that worked out for me. Now, in terms of long term, when I know when to get in and get out, companies that I buy on the long term, I do a lot of analysis of those companies. And some of those I don't plan on ever selling unless I see a major shift in their business. For instance, the first ever company I bought was Coca-Cola. So I have shares from Coca-Cola that I bought in 1996, 97 that I still have to this day and have been doing me well. And I probably never will sell those. So there's really not going to be an exit point, right? As a couple companies I have like that, Johnson & Johnson, Coca-Cola, and Disney are companies that I've been holding forever. So I'll probably never have that. But in terms of a trade or something that I'm going to get into the short term, I kind of know my exit point. I know my exit point when I get in. So I hope I answered your question, Kia. And if not, you can always reach out to us one-on-one. We'll try to help you as much as we can. You can inbox us and, we talk to people who aren't even our students, right? Our students actually, they get all of our attention because they actually see our trades. But if you're not a student, we still try to help you as much as we can. So I hope that helps.